Good afternoon. My name is Roy Willie with the Pool & Willie Anastapullo firm, and I'm joined by my colleague Jonathan Riddle and the family of Brittanee Drexel. And today we are announcing a lawsuit that is a long time coming. It is a lawsuit on the behalf of Dawn Plekin, Brittanee's mother, and the estate of Brittanee Drexel against Raymond Moody, who has confessed to her kidnapping and murder, and against Bar Harbor Resort and Smith Family Partnership, which was the hotel in Myrtle Beach where Brittanee, as an unaccompanied minor, was held and staying. Brittanee disappeared in April of 2009, and as you all know, for the next 13 years, Dawn pressured our community, our local elected officials, and our law enforcement officers to find her. Dawn has never wavered in her pursuit of justice for Brittanee, and today, almost 15 years later, we are here because we will not stop until full justice, in this case, is delivered, and full justice is truly just beginning. There are individuals and entities that know something more about what happened. The work of law enforcement continues, and we are asking today that members of this community who have stood by this family for so long, if you know anything and you have not spoken up and spoken out, please call our office at 800-ALL-7s. We are looking for any additional information because there are still gaps in this story left to be filled, and we intend to fill them. Following me is going to be Dawn with a few comments, and then we will come back for questions.
I just want to thank the community and all the people that gave us their support in South Carolina. This has been a long time coming. I'm exhausted, and this needs to come full circle. Brittanee needs full justice. Thank you.
Be glad to take any questions that you might have.
Can you tell us what questions have not been answered that weren't answered in the trial? Or
So there's not been a trial, there's been a confession. Is that what you're talking about?
the hearing, whatever happened in the courthouse, what has not been answered that needs to be answered?
Sure. So there's a lot of gaps between the evening of April 25th and Brittanee's murder. And what we know is that at some point along the route, she was kidnapped and she was brought down here to Georgetown County and raped and murdered. But there was a lot that happened after that. It took 13 years for Raymond Moody to be positively identified and eventually confess to that murder. As you all know, there were other individuals who were speculated about along the way. And there's a lot of unanswered questions about why that was, and about where that speculation came from, and about what exactly happened between the time that she was kidnapped and the time that her body was found. And so those are some of the gaps that we are looking to fill. We have filled some of those over the course of the last year since I've become acquainted with Dawn. That's why we're announcing this lawsuit today against Bar Harbor and Smith Family Partnership, two entities that have previously been unnamed. But there are a lot of questions left to be answered.
So how is this different than the lawsuit that was filed against Raymond Moody in January?
So the lawsuit that was filed against Raymond Moody in January was filed on behalf of Dawn and had a very specific cause of action. When you look at this lawsuit, you'll see we have a survival wrongful death cause of action. We have a sexual assault cause of action. We've been able to fill in some of those details. We have a kidnapping cause of action. We have, of course, a murder cause of action. And then we have specific causes of action against the hotel in Myrtle Beach.
Can you go into more on why the hotel's been added to the lawsuit and what you're pursuing out of that?
Sure. So as you all know, we have a nationwide epidemic that is not particular to South Carolina and not particular to Myrtle Beach, but we have an issue with human trafficking. And part of the human trafficking protocols require unaccompanied minors to be accounted for. And when Brittanee entered Bar Harbor Hotel, that is what she was. She was a minor unaccompanied by her legal guardian and parent, and she was not authorized to be there. And the hotel did not have any protocol in place to detect that, to ask questions about that, or to otherwise prevent it. And in fact, if you go, and we have some of these in the complaint, it's an ongoing problem. There are guests at the hotel that have reported actual sexual human trafficking at this particular facility. It's even in their Google reviews. And they continue not to take steps in order to prevent it. And in this particular case, if that hotel, when Brittanee, as an unaccompanied minor, showed up with adults who were not authorized to take her there, had asked the proper questions, had called law enforcement, had reported it to authorities, Raymond Moody would not have had the opportunity to do what he did to her.
So forgive me, let me just make sure I'm understanding this. So Brittanee went with other adults and did not have permission to be with the adults to be at the hotel?
Correct.
So what do you guys hope to gain? I guess what is the final result that you guys hope to achieve out of this new lawsuit?
Change. We need change because in Myrtle Beach, as I indicated, this is an ongoing issue, and it's an issue that is widespread and endemic. If you go to Ocean Boulevard during spring break and count the number of unaccompanied minors that you see there, it is a large number. And it is a preying ground for predators like Raymond Moody. And the hotels profit off of this. And the hotels have a responsibility to the minors and to the public at large to do more about it. If you see an unaccompanied minor is not allowed to check into a hotel, right? And so if an unaccompanied minor is with other people, there's an obligation to ask questions. If you see that this is not a family group, that did not happen here as far as we know. So,
Do you know if this particular hotel has made any changes since this happened at all?
well, you can go and read the reviews that are as recent as a couple months ago. You can look at their daily rate today, which is $33 a day, which of course is partially market driven, but obviously doesn't attract the best clientele, and make that determination for yourself. Obviously, we'll get that during discovery, but we certainly have not seen any evidence that anything has changed.
So I apologize, and I'm asking this question. So,
Oh.
Ms. Pecklin, did you not know that your daughter was going with these adults at the time that she was coming down here for vacation?
When Brittanee came here with the acquaintances that she was with, I did not know she was in Myrtle Beach. I did not give her permission to come to Myrtle Beach.
My next question is for Dawn too. So what has it been like for you and your family? Filing the recent lawsuit in January and then now with this new one. I guess talk about what this has been like for you guys.
Well, we've been living a nightmare. It's like living in hell. Like I'm tired. I've been doing this and fighting for Brittanee for 13 years, and now almost going on 15. And I believe that people need to be held accountable. But not only that, it's the awareness. People need to know what is going on so we can make changes, especially like with sex offender laws and changing, just like Roy said, with some of the hotels, because this is a pandemic, not only missing persons, but human trafficking.
Ms. Stone, one more. What outcome do you think you need to find peace?
I don't think you really get peace. I mean, I have a peace of mind that Brittanee is back with us, but it's to spread awareness. It's the point. It's not about anything else. It's just about the point of these kids. Teenagers. Come on, they run away. They go on vacations without their parents knowing. And there's just a lot of predators and people that, like to make money off of people, especially with human trafficking. And, it's huge. And it's not only here, it's everywhere. So, bringing awareness, and it means the world to me, because maybe we can save another child or another Brittanee.
Don, is this going to become your life's mission to honor Brittanee and to bring awareness and try to stop sex trafficking?
Yes, it's going to be my life's mission to help with missing persons and their cases, and also to assist with human trafficking. I've been doing a lot of that already, but I always want to honor Brittanee. We always honor Brittanee. We honor Brittanee on her birthday. We have a cake for her every year since she's been missing. And we have her tree decorated in Myrtle Beach, for every holiday. But that's something that the family does, because we know that Brittanee loved holidays and she loved being around family. But we've had her tree vandalized a couple times here in Myrtle Beach, which I'm not too happy about, and I will be speaking with the city manager about that tomorrow. But our families need help. The families of missing persons need help to find their children too. So yes, this is going to be a life's mission for me.
Does this lawsuit against Raymond Moody replace the one that was filed earlier this year, or is it an additional lawsuit?
It's a different party. So the lawsuit that was brought prior to this lawsuit was individually on behalf of Dawn. This is a lawsuit brought individually and on behalf of the estate of Brittanee Drexel. So the estate is the entity that actually has the claims for the survival action. So for the torture she went through, for the rape, for the sexual assault. Dawn, of course, is a beneficiary of that estate, but they are the estate's claims, and so the proper party to the lawsuit is the estate.
So does that just expand the evidence that you guys can use in this case?
It does. So one of the things that we have had the opportunity to do is go through a lot of the investigation. We do not have all of the law enforcement files. We've been working obviously to get those since May of this year, when all of this came to my desk, so to speak. And so we are continuing to put the investigation together, but it will allow us to get more information about the case, obviously with respect to subpoena power and discovery process and things like that.
Now, I know it's going to be a while before anything from the new case comes to court, but what about the case filed earlier this year? When's the next hearing for that, or anything?
I don't know when the next hearing for that will be, but we'll be glad, obviously, to let you all know.
Will he be allowed to attend in person?
In theory, he should be allowed to attend. There'll be should be a transport order that is entered that transports him. One of the obvious issues with that is he's in a maximum security prison, and so we're not just going to have a hearing for the sake of having a hearing. We are only going to have him come to a hearing when it's absolutely necessary. So.
Did you try to reach out to this hotel prior to filing the lawsuit, or did you guys just decide to go ahead and file it? Or I guess talk about that.
We did not reach out to the hotel prior to filing the lawsuit. Based on all of the customers' complaints and things that we read, the hotel is relatively unresponsive to critique. And so in lieu of wasting another 6 months or year reaching out and having conversations with them, Dawn elected just to have the lawsuit filed and get the process moving along as quickly as we can.
Would you like to see that hotel shut down?
Yes. It should be shut down.
Now, since this is an Horry County hotel, is the lawsuit going to be filed here or in Horry County?
We're actually filing, the lawsuit's going to be filed in Richland County. We are having this here because obviously we know this is important to the local community in Georgetown, with Brittanee's murder taking place here and being found here. We decided to file this lawsuit in Richland County because it is in closer proximity to where Raymond is being held at Kirkland, and so it will be easier, less of a burden on the state to have him transported to court in Richland County. And obviously, as a longtime resident of the correction facility there, he is a resident, and so the suit, we believe, is proper to bring there. So that's where we're bringing it.